Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. My name is Anthony. I hope everybody is having a great day today. Now, I can tell you who's not having a great day is Andrew Tate. Now, I was just looking at a few updates that came across my news feed. I came across a couple of things that popped up on my news feed. One on the main news and the other just on Twitter. So I'll start with the one that was just on Twitter. The one on Twitter was talking about for this woman named Jasmine, who was quote unquote one of Andrew Tate's victims. And she pretty much came out and said everything they coming against him is false. And all of this person trying to political game. Now, is it uncommon for governments to use celebrities to do misdirection or to use them as a way to get points or to get ahead of an election or issue, or excuse me, to move ahead in an election or a particular issue? Yes, I'm not familiar with Romania or when their elections are, but apparently this woman says that in 2024, this person's going to be running for government, and this is a way to work on their stance. But she also agrees with Andrew about this particular Romania and everything else and how it is corrupt. And I'll put a clip of the video right here so you go ahead and watch what I'm talking about.
Files. First of all, I would like to start by saying that there are no victims in this case. It all started April last year in 2022 when two girls that lived in my home with me locked themselves in their room and claimed to be held there hostage. But here's the facts. When the authorities and the police broke into their room, raided our homes, they forgot to mention something really important, and that's that the key was in their room on their bed. Now, I don't think it's just the victims lying anymore, it's the police as well. There is a reason why they don't want to put that certain detail in the files. And it's pretty obvious. This is all about some election in 2024 and the vacant spot for the DCOT leadership that the prosecutor wants. The police know that there was no crime and they are holding the Tate brothers locked with no evidence because they think it's good for Romanian politics. Now, the other two victims that the police claim to be involved in this case are me and Beatrice. And we have been given 3 statements so far clearly saying we are not victims and we have never worked with or for Andrew and Tristan Tate in any way, but our statements keep getting thrown away. The police don't care about the truth. They don't listen to neither me nor Beatrice. Instead, they choose to listen to 2 girls that went on a luxurious vacation on the French Riviera a week or 2 after being rescued for whatever they claimed to be. Another fact is that the police threw away the surveillance footage from the house, inside the house and outside the house, because they don't consider it evidence that proves that those girls were able and were going for walks, they were going out of the house with their phones whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. We want justice, they want political points, and I'm sure that my statements will never be put in the case files because they don't want the truth. All they want is political points. The corruption is so highly valued, justice will never come out to the surface.
But after you get done watching, you'll see what I mean, that she's just saying like, yeah, this is all false. They won't use it in my testimony. This is very corrupt and wrong. Then you go on to Andrew. Andrew Tate supposedly came out with a message how his cell is full of lice and cockroaches, and he's been moved to solitary confinement away from the other men. I'm kind of curious about the solitary. Wow, I cannot talk. I'm kind of curious about the solitary confinement part because I know normally here in the States, you are put in solitary confinement if you're a celebrity or if you're in danger. I don't necessarily see him being in danger, so I'm assuming it's more of the celebrity part. If it was the same in Romania, again, I don't know. But I will say I saw the pictures of him today when he was going to court. He didn't look the best. I feel like this is more of a tactic for them to try to break him mentally, because Andrew Tate has always had a strong stance when it comes to mental health, being depressed, things of that nature. Nothing necessarily negative, but it seems like his words are going to be put to the test, and the Romanian government are going to put his words to the test. So yes, if you put a man in a dark room by himself, that Whenever you try to get some sleep, you're trying to feel something crawl on you, biting you, making you itch. If you ever been poor in America, you know what it is. It sucks. If you've been in jail in America, you know what it is. It sucks. So not even in America, just pretty much anywhere in general. So this is just a tactic to really break him. Because so far, I haven't seen anybody come out and say that. I haven't seen anybody come out and say he did what they're accusing him of doing. So far, I've seen more women come out in his defense than women that are actually going against him. Like in that whole entire Vice episode they showed. And you know what? Everybody needs a Tristan in their life. Because Tristan Tate said that Vice guy was just a plant. He didn't trust him. He didn't want him there. And you say, you know what? I have nothing to hide, yada, yada, yada. But Tristan read through him right away. And they painted that whole entire Vice hit piece, and it was a hit piece, in a very negative light. Now, when I watched that, and I watched it with an open mind, because I was like, you know what, if I'm going to see something that's pretty disgusting in there, I want to go ahead and call it out. And it's like, okay, he encouraged men to come there to fight. Now, I'll be real here. If you wanted to have an opportunity to push yourself, because men of a certain age would do that anyway. Men of a certain age, normally above the age of 45, when they hit their midlife crisis, they will sit there and buy like a more expensive car. They'll go ahead and buy expensive trips, get unnecessary surgeries, tanning, or go to the gym a lot more, which is not bad. A younger girlfriend. They'll do all these things because of quote unquote midlife crisis. So these men, instead of just trying to spend money that's not going to help them grow as individuals, they choose to go ahead and listen to a man that's, you know, working himself from being poor to being rich and successful. And you know what? If he's going to recommend me getting into a fight, this is like a test my limits as a man, why not? So on a level I can understand, especially since I used to fight myself when I was younger, in my younger years. So I understand that completely. There is something very euphoric, and if you feel something very accomplished when you get into a ring or you spar against somebody or going to get an actual match with somebody, there's something that's like a high a drug cannot give you. So I understand it completely. And truthfully, back then, I was my happiest. I was my happiest when I was sitting there sparring and training like that. So I understand it. So for Vice to make that something else such a horrible thing, when they could have walked away and not gone into that ring, was completely wrong. But but back to get back on topic, when you have somebody like Andrew, who's very charismatic and a celebrity, I'm pretty sure all those people he was around, he was getting supporters for, and the guards didn't necessarily like that. The staff didn't necessarily like that, because let's be real here, you want to try to break that man down so that he will either confess to whatever you want him to, or get his items. Because at first, originally, I thought it was only going to be for 30 days, right? 30 days or a month that he was going to be locked up. They extended it for another month, right? And then I was reading how it could be up to 6 months they can keep him. Oh, okay. So 6 months, that's going to be, I see they're going to try to probably push that to the full 6 months. Okay. So what's going to happen after that? Are you going to lose? Is he going to lose his supporters? No. Not his real supporters. Is it one of these things you hope that him and his message will die out? No. And let's say about for some unknown reason, because Andrew has came out plenty of times to say I would never commit suicide, that he ended up quote unquote committing suicide, right? Let's say that does happen. How many people will actually believe it? You want to play all his videos, all the negative stuff he says, but who's for a second going to believe that he actually killed himself? Because if I'm being honest here, I've seen just as many positive videos that I have seen negative videos of Andrew Tate. I've seen that final message thing that came out right before the raid happened on his house. He got arrested, to where he's saying he was going to take a step back from social media for a little bit, where he said he opened up an orphanage, where he wanted to donate to charities, how he wanted to get a post verified on Instagram. He'll donate that much money to the charity directly, where he sat here and bought clothes and supplies for people, clothes and supplies for people for Ukraine. You see all this good stuff this man is doing, yet it's not being spoken about at all. You want to talk about a kink shame that he did with a woman that came out and said, no, we were just playing around. And let's be real here, people do all kinds of crazy stuff behind closed doors. A lot of our politicians do right now. They be having affairs, they have mistresses. You have Republicans that are playing for abortions when they're pro-life. It's crazy. The only difference is that he's not in political power. He's just a rich man, so he's easier to attack. Because you can't blackmail him to push the agenda you want him to. Okay? The biggest mistake that Andrew Tate has made to me is him not listening to his brother. And towards the end, before the raid happened, I think he started to realize that, hey, a lot of the stuff I was saying should have been dialed back. But, you know, they always say hindsight is 20/20. How this will impact him and change him whenever he gets out, because I have faith he is going to get out, but what kind of man will he be when he gets out? Will he be the same man as before his final message? Or will he be the man that his final message was trying to say? A more calm person doing more things behind the scenes and off social media, not doing too many more podcasts. It's just interesting to see. And it's very interesting to see how somebody that nobody truly knows is being vilified by everybody. And again, I don't agree with everything he says or said, but I also seen in other interviews and other things of that nature to where he took back some of the things he said, where he actually apologized and grew. Not too many people can do that. I mean, if you watch, I'll give a more recent example right here. Joe Biden, our president, because I am an American. So Joe Biden, our president. When it came to the whole entire COVID vaccine, did he admit he was wrong? Did he admit he didn't know what he was talking about? No. Not at all. When it comes to Donald Trump, right? Did he admit he's wrong with having those documents? No, he says it's a hit piece. Which was a lot more documents than what Joe Biden had when he was vice president. But, you know, that's a conversation for another video. Andrew was man enough to admit his mistakes and try to grow from them. And he didn't have to do that. And truth be told, he even said in another one of those interviews, in that same interview, the final message, where he literally said that, you know what, I'm not in Romania because I'm trying to run away from sex trafficking charges and all this other kind of stuff. I just genuinely like it here. Okay. I have no reason to disbelieve him, just like I have no reason to believe him. I don't know the man. I'm just seeing what's put in front of me and how funny things look. And I don't like how things are looking right now. I really don't. It's very easy to tell somebody they're wrong. But it's very hard to admit when we're wrong. And sometimes a lot of people who are coming after Andrew Tate are just wrong. You don't always gotta agree with somebody. And the treatment he's getting out, is that really justified? Because more and more women are coming out and saying that, no, he didn't do this to me. But yet we're willing to believe people who are not the victims, just a random government. And let's be real, the government's always been corrupt. I'm not saying Romania is a corrupt government, but my history of governments show more corruption. My history of governments is me seeing them being more corrupt than more just. Again, I can only base it off America because, you know, I'm an American. But that's my history of it. So I'm always going to be more skeptical of the government compared to an actual civilian. Well, I hope you like this more longer form video. Let me know what you think. Again, I think her name was Jasmine. I hope you watched that part of the video at least. Let me know what you think about what she said. Yeah, I hope everybody has a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good one.